Good morning, everybody. I decided I was going to try and post a video about doing some of the things that, I cook. And everybody knows I like to cook. Today I'm going to be making hot dog chili. I had a craving for a chili dog, and this is a family recipe that has been around for I don't know how long. Of course, it does not have beans in it. Hot dog chili does not have beans in it. Contrary to what that canned stuff that you buy. So anyway, I'm going to try and put this together and see how it goes. I tried doing it on my tablet, but the tablet doesn't have a pause button, and I'm not too sure about all this editing and stuff like that, since this is kind of the first time I've done this. So anyway, let's see how this goes. So evidently this is going to be a little more of a challenge than I thought, because I don't have the right kind of camera, but we'll make the best of it. I have browned 2 pounds, 2¼ pounds of ground chuck, 80/20. You want a little bit of fat. You don't want it completely dry, because as we all know, you have to have a little bit of fat to get a little bit of flavor. So I'm living proof of that. Anyway, so to this brown meat, I'm going to add half of a chopped onion. You don't want it chopped too finely. You don't want it to get lost. You don't want it to turn to mush. So here we go with that. So there's half of an onion. You just want it to sweat down a little bit. I have browned and drained the ground beef of about 99% of the grease. So we're going to do that, and I've reserved the other half of the onion to be used on the hot dog buns when they're done and ready to eat. I also want to add that when you are browning the ground beef, you want to chop it up relatively fine. You don't want any large chunks in there, but you don't want it to be dust either, so you kind of have to use your own judgment. The actual ingredients are very, very easy. Like I said, it's ground beef, onion, chili powder, garlic powder, a little Worcestershire sauce, a little bit of vinegar, a good quality tomato sauce, good size can. You may not be able to tell by the size of my hand, but it's one of the bigger cans or 2 of the little cans, or whatever you might have around. About 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, and a cup of white wine to apply as needed. By the way, your onions should just start to turn translucent. You don't want them overdone, because they're going to finish cooking in the sauce in the crock pot after I transfer this mix into the crock pot. Okay, so I've got the meat mixture transferred into the crock pot. I'm reusing the same skillet that I cooked the meat in. I just transferred it out, didn't wipe it out, didn't clean it, because it still has some of the onion and stuff in it. So to this, I have added the can of tomato sauce. I'm going to put in the brown sugar. I'm going to put in the vinegar, which is about 1/4 cup. Now all of this stuff is subjective. You basically have to do it to taste, especially after it is cooked. You start out with your measurements and then adjust it up or down, whichever way you need. So to this, I'm going to add a teaspoon of chili powder. And in case anybody wants to know, that's actually a teaspoon. So anyway, we've got that. We'll do the same with the garlic. So you need about a teaspoon of garlic. You can use fresh garlic. For simplicity, I'm just using the powder. So we'll stir it all together, let it warm up, see what happens. Now we've got the spices and everything in there. It's time for a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. This you may have to add a little bit more. Like I said, there's no exact measurements to it. I'm like the meme on Facebook. You know, I just sprinkle until the ghosts of my ancestors say that's enough, my child. The white wine, you might ask, how this plays a role. I'll show you. Cheers. We want the sauce to gently warm up with everything in it, all the ingredients in it, so it releases all the flavors. And don't be afraid to test as you go so you can make adjustments. You may want more or less chili powder. You may need a little bit more sugar, a little bit more garlic, whatever. I don't know if anybody noticed or not, but I haven't put any salt in. And the reason is I'm going to put the hot dogs in the meat mixture in the crock pot and let them warm up and absorb some of the flavor of the chili sauce. And we all know that they have got more than enough sodium in them that's going to make things different. So I never use salt when I make this if I'm going to put the hot dogs in to cook in the meat sauce, just for that reason, because it's going to take the salt out of the dogs. So just keep that in mind, and I'll be back in just a second. That's just about the consistency that you want. You want a little bit more meat than sauce, and the sauce will reduce as it cooks. So once it's reduced down a little bit, then you just stick the hot dogs in and let them set for an hour or so, and then they're ready to eat. So hope you enjoyed. Hope this will actually post. We'll see here in a few minutes. So bon appetit, y'all.